After 3 weeks of intensive negotiations here in Dayton, the leaders of Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia, and Serbia have agreed to end the war in the former Yugoslavia.
It is easy to start a war, but difficult to conclude a peace. What has been achieved here in Dayton has been achieved not without difficulty, but the important thing is that it has been achieved.
This day will enter into the history as the date of the end of the war in the area of former Yugoslavia. In a civil war like this one in Bosnia, there are no winners, and there could be no winners. All are losers. Only peace is a victory.
Today is the historic day for Bosnia and for the rest of the world. For Bosnia, because the war, we hope, will be replaced by peace. And for the rest of the world, because the suffering of Bosnia and everything that followed it has been a moral question of the first rate. And moral questions concern every man and every woman in the world.
Let me express my satisfaction with the fact that we have finally reached a solution promising lasting peace in Bosnia, that is, in the former Yugoslavia. After 5 years of crisis, 4 years of war, and more than 3 years of intensive negotiations. The dramatic character of these negotiations, in which the solution has been reached when everyone thought that the negotiation had failed, also symbolizes all the complexity and difficulty of this crisis, certainly the major crisis to affect Europe after World War II.
The agreements and territorial arrangements, initialed today, are a huge step forward, the biggest by far since the war began. But ahead lies an equally daunting task: implementation. On every page of the many complicated documents and annexes initialed here today lie challenges to both sides to set aside their enmities, their differences, which are still raw and open wounds. They must work together.
The United States is not there to lead. I'm afraid that we could see the entire deal collapse.
Well, as you know, this plan of implementation is the plan of NATO. We are waiting the resolution of the United Nations Security Council about the mandate of the military implementation. And when we review this resolution and other information from our military people who are now studying this problem in Brussels, there will be the political decision about our possible participation. But we have some doubts about that plan of the United Nations, of the NATO on the military implementation.